Fantastic. Henry, tell us, what makes you optimistic?
What makes me optimistic is the ability to work and collaborate together online as we're doing throughout such a difficult year as 2020. And I think the fact that we can connect globally and work so collaboratively and positively in such times is a great cause for optimism for me.
And you work in the field of ethics and artificial intelligence. What makes you optimistic about, the ethical basis on which artificial intelligence will be harnessed to improve our world and improve our lives?
Definitely the most optimistic part around the ethics of AI is the fact that the conversation is growing so quickly and it's growing globally. The ethics of AI, I think, is now as concerning as climate change, and the number of organizations that are now working in this space, and again, the cross collaboration between industry and government and society is fantastic. It's getting stronger, and there's just more energy and also more excitement around how we can build socially responsible AI, but also AI that can really work for the greater good. So it's the fact that these conversations are really sort of taking off is what gives me great cause for optimism around AI.
Absolutely inspiring. Now, Dev, you are smiling. That is the first habit of the optimist. What makes you optimistic, Dev?
I don't know. It's a chronic deficiency I have, I think. It happened because of my industry I worked in. And it's ultimately, I work in tech, and both the industry within itself is inherently optimistic. We build technology for the future. We predict usage, we predict scale, and I think the industry is wired to be optimistic by nature, generally. But I think the other side of that is, let's say, the ecosystem that works with the industry, the suppliers, the buyers, even people who wouldn't associate optimism with many industries. When I'm working with them and we are talking AI, we are talking technology, we are talking future. And there is inherent optimism in that. So I reckon, my days are optimistic by nature. So yeah, what makes me optimistic? People do.
Andry, you've got huge experience in the world of AI, road safety and everything else, but on a personal basis, believing that everything will work out in the end, what's the underpinning for your optimism?
Why am I optimistic about this? I'm old enough to, I have seen how internet grew. I was in France in an institute called French National Institute in Computer Science in late 80s, where I saw the internet growing, and the institute where I was located was actually the hub where we could see all the traffic around France. And I remember at that time, it was forbidden to send emails to your supervisors because your supervisors were not accustomed to the technology. And I saw, TCP/IP, all the standardization of that. I've attended courses in artificial intelligence, and I remember I was learning about expert systems, which is some kind of the grandpa of artificial intelligence. So I followed that for maybe 10 years, and it was really stalled. It didn't go anywhere. But recently, and I'm talking in 2014, I started to see booming in artificial intelligence. And I would say one of the reasons why I'm very optimistic is it's because of one of the revolutionary things that I saw in AI is the GAN, which is the generative adversarial network. This is, to me, the revolution in AI. And when I saw what they can do now, and I think the people from Facebook will tell you exactly the same story, that since then, there are so much opportunities in this technology. And that's what we are doing in road safety. We're actually playing with the progress in AI to find out how we can save lives, how we can improve road safety. And there is so much potential there. Now, we need to find out how we can use it in a safe way, looking at the ethics. And also one of the promising things that I really enjoy is that this work in AI is becoming very multidisciplinary. It's not a discipline for computer science anymore. It's really, as you heard before, there are ethics, there are law, there are lots of discipline involved in it, and that is really promising. I think this AI will really change. It will reshape our lives, and it will change gradually the way we live day by day.
One of the things I've seen, I used to be on the board of the Transport Accident Commission in Victoria, and of course we were, there's as Guy said earlier, there's 1,000 deaths a year, but as cars have got safer, the number of serious injuries rather than death have increased.
Yeah.
Particularly in Australia, our ability to take an injured person from the roadside by helicopter to the best casualty hospital meant people who used to die are now surviving. And now we're starting to see AI and the like also being applied to recovery from road injury. And we're even starting to see the paralyzed using their limbs, those who are crippled starting to walk. So, I mean, I see these astonishing wonders of what you're doing and what your team's doing, Andry. What is the thing that inspires your team the most?
Well, it's I'm an academic, so I'm a researcher. There is a big difference between science and research. Science is basically using the current knowledge, and research is really trying to question and also add knowledge about the science, using science methodology, of course. And when you are facing the problem of injuries and fatalities, and you have a technology, such a revolutionary technology next to it, you can't help yourself but wondering how this technology can help you. And if you saw what we are doing in terms of image recognition, in terms of detecting hazards on the road, in terms of fusing data, all available data that we have about the driver, its environment, about the car. There is so much things that we can do to detect impairments and to avoid them, to reduce the severity of the injuries, to reduce the number of fatalities. All that kind of things is just an open road that we need to tackle.
Oh, God, my heart sings, Andry. That is, oh, God, Guy, we're going to have fun on Wednesday. What an event.